Hello, welcome again to Pep Talk with Ada. I am Adaeze Onebunne, a mental health activist. Your psychological wellness is my concern. Today, we are going to be talking about toxicity, toxic people.
No! God, please, no!
Are you a toxic person? Or are you in a relationship with a toxic partner? Okay, you're not sure. You're trying to figure it out. Okay, I'll help you right there. Now let's get right to it.
Pep Talk with Ada.
You must have heard people say, he's a toxic man. She's so toxic. You are toxic. I cannot continue in this toxic relationship. And you are wondering, what did I do? Which one is toxic? A toxic person is someone that constantly exhibits unhealthy and negative attitude towards other people. A toxic person is someone who manipulates other people to get what they want. A toxic person is insensitive. A toxic person lacks empathy. A toxic person is not emotionally intelligent. They do not care about what they say to people. They do not care about how their actions hurt other people. And sometimes they do not even know that this is what they are doing. It is not intentional for some of them, which means it can be identified as a personality trait. It is called toxic personality trait. Now we are going to look into these types of toxic personality traits so that when you see it out there, you can be able to identify it. The first toxic trait we are going to be talking about is negative Nancy or negative Ned. This is a term we use to describe negative-minded people. This set of people always look at life with a negative outlook and they tend to project their pessimism on other people. They always prefer to focus on the negative aspects of every situation or of any human being, often complaining, criticizing, and always expressing dissatisfaction. They love to dwell on problems and obstacles rather than finding solution or focusing on the positive part of it. Any matter you bring to a negative Nancy, be sure to get criticism, negative energy, and it can be draining. Their type of person can influence everybody around them, influence the energy around them. Their constant negativity makes it quite hard for anybody around them to maintain a positive mindset. It's important to be aware of the impact a negative Nancy can have on you so that you can be able to create necessary boundaries. You will know the exact thing to tell them. You will know the matters to give them to dissect. You don't take everything to a negative Nancy because trust them to bring negativity into it. Next toxic trait we'll be talking about is the manipulator. This is one of the best because they are so good. You won't know that you are being manipulated at the early stage unless Jesus Christ comes to your rescue. Who is a manipulator? A manipulator is someone who uses different tactics and techniques to get you to do what they want. They employ different strategies. You will not know, like I said, I promise you, you will not know at first. Let's see some of the things a manipulator will do. A manipulator will gaslight you into doubting your perspective, your sanity, your feelings, your memories. It will make you feel like, was I not there? You will question your sanity. You will not be able to understand if you were right about what you saw, about what you felt, or if they are the ones that are right. They have a way of manipulating you. Victim, question your reality. You will question your existence. You will have to do a mind check to know if you are going crazy. This is the work of a manipulator. And you are in a relationship with someone who behaves this way towards you. My dear, they are manipulating you. Next technique a manipulator uses on their victim is called guilt tripping. A manipulator will guilt trip you. They will use guilt against you to make you feel responsible for your emotions and the way you feel. You can see an example of that in this scenario, where a man wants to make love to a woman and the woman is not ready. The man starts to guilt trip her by telling her, you don't love me, you don't care about me. But in this case, the woman does care about you. They are not just ready to give into sex in that point of the relationship, but because you understand that this person has a soft spot already for you, so you use their emotions against them. You continue to use that to guilt trip them, making them feel that they are the bad ones when it is just about how they feel at the moment. And the man might end up getting the girl to do that which she wouldn't do on a normal circumstances. Now he has been able to use that guilt tripping to manipulate her into having sex with her. If you have experienced something like this, you were manipulated. You should always be looking out for yourself. You should always know when somebody is using you, when somebody is employing a tactic to use and get what they want from you. They will use that guilt to manipulate you into doing what they want. They would play victim and use emotional blackmail on others to get what they want. You have to look out for these people. They are not good people. Some emotional blackmailing statements include, I carried you 9 months in my stomach. I picked you up from the gutters. I did this for you, I did that for you. You have to understand that doing something for someone at a particular time does not mean that you have to trample on their rights, or does not mean that they do not have right to express themselves. When you do something for someone and they are complaining about something you have done wrong, don't bring in what you did for them. It is not supposed to counter how they feel about it. That is emotional blackmailing. If you are doing it, stop it. The next thing a manipulator does is isolation. They love to isolate their targets from their family and friends. They don't want you talking with them. They don't want you hanging out. They don't want you asking questions. Most times when they find out that you are asking someone outside about something that is happening in your relationship, they feel upset. They are like, you are taking our relationship outside. They don't ever feel like they are doing something wrong and they need advice. They need to hear people's opinion. But you are the one that will be feeling like there is something that is not right. I need to know if this is what is going on. They will tell you are comparing the relationship. Why are you telling this person about it? Can't you handle your problem? That is just to get you to close your mouth. That is just to get you to think that you are the problem, while you are trying to understand the situation you have found yourself in. Understand that when they cut you off from friends and family, they have more control over you. You can't seek for help, you can't ask questions. They are going to go ahead to make sure that you don't relate with your friends, making it hard for you to seek other people's help, to know their perception about anything, just for you to be in that problem and be in it alone. No help for you. Now you are nodding. It sounds familiar, right? Yes. The essence of Pep Talk with Ada is to clarify you in some situations you might have found yourself in. Your mental well-being is my concern. Other things a manipulator can do is blame shifting. A manipulator shifts blame on their victim. You start asking yourself, but I was the one that was just feeling bad. I was the one you just wronged. How are you making it about you? They have moved the blame from them to you. Another thing is financial manipulation. A manipulator will cut you off all financial access. They don't want you having any finances so that you can solely depend on them. And by that, you'll be under their control. We see these things happening a lot of times. Yes, he told me to sit at home. He told me to stop my business. That is a manipulator. So far as you don't feel good doing that and they are pushing you to do it, their motive is that they can use that as an opportunity to do what? To crumble you, to make you dependent on them. And you don't want that, trust me. And another thing manipulators use as a technique is love bombing. This is very tricky because on the outside, people out there will see it as a God when situation, oh, I go love her, but they don't understand that you are being manipulated. You get all those gifts, all those attention, the money, flowers, when you are at the verge of giving up, when you have gotten it up to here, you are thinking of leaving the relationship, and then those good things come back, comes to you, and how can I leave this thing? They get you a car to say, I am sorry, don't leave me. That is manipulation. That is just typical manipulation. You get to be taken out, you get to get the finest clothes, the finest sex, the finest You go to the fanciest restaurant when you are at the point of giving up. Those things get you confused. It makes you not to be able to think. And that is what a manipulator does. They won't do all these things on a good day. But once there is an issue and it feels like you are considering yourself in this relationship, you want to know your next move. All these nice things come. And people be like, what? You want to leave this? I mean, he bought you a house. I mean, she did this for you. I mean, my dear, I'm not saying you should run, no. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you should look out for yourself. That is manipulation at the highest order. Next people we are going to talk about are the narcissists. Narcissists are people who have excessive sense of self-importance and craving for admiration from others. These people believe that they are superior and better than everybody. They believe they are unique. They exaggerate their talent because they believe that nobody is going to do it better than them. One of the major characteristics of a narcissist is lack of empathy. They do not understand people's emotion. They do not care about emotions. They want to process people's emotion the way they process their own emotion. So your hurt has to make sense to them before they believe they hurt you. Another characteristic of a narcissist is sense of entitlement. They have the entitlement mentality. They believe they deserve preferential treatment. They exploit others to meet their own needs, thereby disregarding other people's boundary. Definitely, they want to get what they want, so they are going to go to any length to see that they get that thing they want from you. Despite how they feel confidence about themselves in the outside, they usually feel intimidated in the inside. Narcissists have a fragile self-esteem. That is why they go beyond reasonable doubt to see that they maintain how they feel about themselves. They often react aggressively or defensively to any perceived criticism or rejection. They cannot take it. Like, how dare you do that to them? How dare you want to reject them? How dare you tell them this thing about them? They cannot handle criticism. You cannot. They are the only ones that should criticize other people. This is how narcissists feel about others. Another important factor to note about narcissists is that they lack accountability. They are often unwilling to take responsibility of their own mistakes or their shortcomings. They would rather prefer to blame others. They will find a way to fix you, even if you're not directly at fault, even if you're not directly at the center of the problem. They will find a way to fix you in just to make it look like you caused this. Narcissists and manipulators share a lot in common. They are from the same mother. I know it sounds familiar. You have to look out for yourself so you don't end in the web of manipulators or narcissists. If you have been dealing with a narcissist or a manipulator, you need a lot of self-care because I understand how draining that can be. I am here to support you, to show you tips of self-care that you can start practicing that will make you feel good. It is very important that you seek for help so that you don't overwear yourself, thinking that you are the problem all along. Next toxic personality trait we'll be discussing is the judge. You can also say the criticizers. These are people who have critical judgmental nature. They are found judging others, including themselves, without empathy or understanding. The judge is actually quick to point out flaws in others, find out mistakes, shortcomings. They can never thank you. They can never appreciate you for the good things. They will always hammer on that 1 out of 100 while ignoring the 99% that is good. They do not like to consider circumstances. They love to jump into conclusion. They don't care what your own perspective is. They don't care about your feeling. They always use themselves as the yardstick. I will never do this. It cannot be me. How could you do such a thing? How could you let yourself do that? This and that. They don't want to hear you out to know the situation that you were in. They are very rigid and inflexible. And this rigidity can affect open and constructive conversation between them and other people. Egoistic people. If it is right to them, then it is right all around. If it is wrong in their eyes, then it's wrong all around. They don't believe that people might have what works for them or preference. They are the yardstick. They give themselves unattainable high standards, and they hold others to those standards too. When you have someone like this, you find it very difficult to relate with them about your mistakes or your problems. And most times, African parents are seen unstable. When you are having some challenges as a grown up, you can't relate to them. Even as a teenager, you cannot relate to them because you fear that they will judge you. There is absolutely no need being a criticizer. You can always have that mind to correct people instead of criticizing them. Nobody loves to be criticized, be it an adult, a child, or a youth. When you have a friend or a partner who all they do is to criticize all your move and paint themselves to be better than you have to avoid them. Maybe not avoid them, but you have to make them realize that people make mistakes, and instead of criticizing you, it would be better if they correct you and give you answers on better ways to react. On a friendship level, we have the gossips. These are people who constantly have the need to talk about other people. They like to demean others in all this their conversation because it is a way they use to soothe their own insecurities. If you have a friend that is always bringing people to your table, dissecting them, talking about them, and you condone it, just know that you are being dissected on another person's table. So I think you should be able to stop such conversations and encourage her or him to talk about other things that can be beneficial to both of you. I believe this session has been helpful, and I have been able to share with you the type of toxic personality traits that we have out there. If you are one of these things that I've mentioned today, I want to urge you to work on your personality. Nobody is going to do it for you. Do not use it as an avenue to keep manipulating people. Rather, work on yourself. And if you found yourself in a relationship with a toxic person, I will urge you to seek for help. Try to talk to them to improve if they want to improve. And if they don't want to improve, if they still blame you for talking to them about it, then you should know what next to do. Have you found this helpful? Then like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would like to know your thoughts in the comment section. Go ahead and tell me what you feel about what we've discussed today. Remember, your mental health is my concern, and I'm here to make sure that I give you all the tips and support you need to maintain a good mental health. See you soon.
Pep Talk with Ada.